Well, guys, it finally happened. We got some breaking news. United States Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle has officially resigned. And all I've got to say about that is what took so long? I mean, seriously, like you are responsible for one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Secret Service failure in the history of the country, at least in the last 50 years, at least. I mean, seriously, you were the director of the Secret Service and you allowed a 20-year-old with a ladder to come within 150 feet of the former president of the United States and fire off several shots. And your reasoning for why you didn't secure that building and make sure that nobody could get up there is because it had a sloped roof. That's why you couldn't secure it. An obvious vulnerability, an obvious place for a shooter to go and possibly shoot the president of the United States. She should have resigned as soon as it happened. Seriously, in my opinion, as soon as former President Donald Trump got shot and the blood was coming down and all that, she should have said, hey, she should have spoke that same night and said, hey, the FBI is taking over. You know, they're taking over the investigation. There's going to be a lot of investigations. Obviously, we screwed up. This is on me. I made a terrible mistake. I would like to announce right now that I am officially resigning. I cannot believe it took this long because for those who don't remember, she fought her own resignation for a while. People were calling on her to resign. It's been like 8 days now since former President Trump got shot. Over the last week or so, she's been fighting it. People are asking her, are you going to resign? She vehemently said she is not resigning. She's like, I will not resign. What do you mean you won't resign? You guys are in charge of protecting the president of the United States and former presidents and presidential candidates for all sorts of different threats. You're in charge of protecting them from any sort of terrorists, crazy people, secret agents, foreign nations, all these different things. If you can't protect the dang president from a 20-year-old with a ladder, how can you protect any of our leaders or former presidential leaders or figures from any other threats? Seriously, we literally got some news that Iran was threatening to assassinate former President Donald Trump. Obviously, Iran is very capable in a lot of ways. So if you can't protect the president from a random 20-year-old who just all of a sudden snapped and lost his mind, how the hell are you going to protect anybody from a country like Iran who is a lot more smarter, a lot more planned, a lot more articulated when it comes to these sorts of things, you know? So, and the other thing I want to say too is she also had a hearing yesterday in Congress. She literally came before one of the House committees. I don't remember the exact name of the committee. It's like the Accountability something committee, but she came before that committee and they did a hearing yesterday. That hearing lasted like 4 or 5 hours. It was terrible. She there was a lot of simple questions that she couldn't answer. A lot of things where she said like, oh, well, the FBI is investigating that. I can't speak on that right now. They were asking certain questions about the shooter. She's like, I can't answer that. It's like, clearly you're not meant to do this job. Clearly you're incompetent. Obviously you had no business being Secret Service director. And I'm not even trying to be like mean or rude. I'm just being honest. That's all I can be, is just completely frank and honest. I'm sure she's a nice lady. I'm sure she's not a terrible person. I appreciate her 30 years of service. She said that she worked with the Secret Service for 30 years, started off as like an intern or something like that. She started off at the very bottom, worked her way to the top. That's a beautiful story. That's great. But unfortunately, you were not meant to be the director of the Secret Service. And yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyway, Biden did release a statement, guys, on the Secret Service director. I did want to go ahead and read that. This is the statement right here from President Joe Biden. He said, Jill and I are grateful to Director Kim Cheadle for her decades of public service. She has selflessly dedicated and risked her life to protect our nation, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go down to the bottom. As a leader, it takes honor, courage, blah, blah, blah. The independent review to get to the bottom of what happened on July 13th continues, and I look forward to assessing its conclusions. We all know what happened that day can never happen again. As we move forward, I wish Kim all the best, and I will plan to appoint a new director soon. So there you go. So Biden, the president, is actually the one who is going to appoint a new director. One of the main questions that I would have for President Joe Biden is, why did you not fire her? She should have been fired. It shouldn't have even have gotten to a point where she had to resign. She should have immediately been fired. Immediately. You should have immediately said, or at the very least, you should have given her a call and said, listen, you need to resign right now. Obviously, that call did not happen because it took 7-8 days for her to even resign. But yeah, if I were the president, I would have called her that same night. After I called Trump and, said, hey, I apologize for what happened. Hope you're okay. My condolence, all that for what happened or whatever. I would have immediately called her and said, listen, I appreciate your service. I thank you for everything you've done. You need to resign right now. What you did cannot happen. Think about it, guys. We all have jobs, right? You all have jobs. I have a day job. We all work, right? Think about it. Are there not certain things in your job where it just can't happen? We all have a job. We all have jobs that where it's like that. We all have it where there are certain things that you just cannot do. And if you do it, or if you screw up that bad, or if you make that mistake, you will be fired. It's that simple. I have that in my job. There are certain things that if I do wrong, or if I screw certain things up with the company that I work for, I will be fired immediately. That's what should have happened with Kimberly Cheeto. Absolutely insane. And the fact that she couldn't even answer questions at yesterday's hearing was crazy too. That hearing was an absolute train wreck. It really was. I mean, they were just grilling her for 4 hours, and all she kept saying was, "I can't answer that. I can't answer this. I don't know. Blah blah blah. You're the Secret Service director. Like, what are you doing?" So, yeah. Anyway, Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheeto has absolutely she's resigned. God knows what she's going to do going forward. My guess is she'll probably end up working for some private security firm or something in the private sector. Overall, I think she'll be fine. Eventually people will forget about this. She'll get a job somewhere. I'm sure she's got some powerful friends. And yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys that update on the Secret Service director resigning and kind of give my thoughts. I think she should have resigned way earlier, at the very least been fired. I can't believe it's been like 7-8 days and she just now finally realized that, oh, maybe I should resign. Yeah, you think? Anyway, that's today's video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.